Welcome to a new series that I'm starting on my channel called... So here's my plan for this series, and because I know how life works, I'm ready to change it. But this is what I'm thinking. This series is basically going to be a documented journey where you're going to see me learn synthesizers and hopefully continue to really grow and utilize synthesizers in my workflow. And what I'm hoping as well is that all of you experienced synth people out there can help me out, figure out where I might be going wrong or the resources that might help me in my journey in learning synthesis. And for those of you not into synths yet, but like me, have always been really interested in them, then maybe this can be a sort of like path that you can join me on. So I'm going to be learning synthesis from scratch based off of what I already know. I know a few things, but not enough that I'm satisfied with. We're going to be exploring, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, and ultimately the goal is to make music with the stuff that we're learning. So in a video, I may learn about a new concept and then apply it in a new track or a piece of music that I make in that video. So where do we start? So I mentioned that I don't know anything about synthesis, but that's not entirely true. I know about waveforms and the physics of sound and how sound sort of works in the natural environment. I know what a filter is. I think I know how an LFO works. I roughly get what an envelope generator is and the like very rudimentary stuff. So I've done a ton of research and kind of came to the conclusion that I want to start with a semi-modular synthesizer. Something that isn't too complex but offers enough exploration to have fun with it later on. And is also something that I can learn with, that I can apply what I learned to other synthesizers, whether they're virtual or physical. Enter the Moog Mother-32 semi-modular analog synthesizer. This belongs to my Uncle Jeff, and he let me borrow this very graciously. Thank you, Uncle Jeff. I really appreciate it. Okay, so the Mother-32, as I understand it, seems like a good place to start because it has all the essentials for synthesis. By the way, each new episode in this series will be in a playlist called Adventures in Synthesis. So that's where I intend all of this to sort of live. And the idea is that you can sort of see or map out the entire journey from beginning to end. Okay, so let's get started. So here's the Mother, and I have it plugged into my DAW Logic. And what I want to do is make a bare bones patch, I think. I've been playing with this for a couple of days now. So first things first, I'm gonna tune the synth because that's something we have to do with analog gear. I'm just gonna... little sharp. Yeah, that's pretty much on. Cool. Now this has this little like button keyboard on it. Now, fortunately, I don't have to start from scratch when it comes to like knowing about music itself. So this layout is very comfortable for me. Okay, so we have oscillators. We can jump between sawtooth or square. We have a filter, resonance. We have noise as well. LFO, attack decay, all the simple stuff. So I think we have to start with a sequence. I like synth bass. Dig it. So we have an LFO, and I've been watching this really great tutorial series on the Mother-32 by this creator named Brian Tree. And I watched just a few of those videos, but I kind of get the gist for how this is laid out. We have the oscillator here. We have the filter here. This is the VCA, or basically like the mixer out. And then these are modulation parameters, I suppose, which are controlled by the LFO. LFO stands for low frequency oscillator. In essence, an oscillator is basically something that produces a waveform that goes back and forth really fast. And if it goes fast enough, it becomes something that the human ear can hear. Each tone is a waveform that's vibrating at say 440 times per second, and they call that hertz. And so a low frequency oscillator also vibrates at a certain speed, but not as fast as a true oscillator does, or at least not fast enough that we can hear. Now I think this can get so fast that humans can start to hear it, but I guess it can be useful both ways, really slow or really, really fast. Well, that's cool. That's cool because it's like, it feels like it's emphasizing other kinds of frequencies. Interesting. That's cool. So that's the LFO going so fast that it starts to turn into frequencies that we can hear. I have the resonance kind of high up. So you can actually make the attack and decay so short that you don't even hear the tone, just like the first initial click of the sound. That was cool. I was basically just, turning knobs around, seeing what would affect what and how that would affect the sound. So you might have noticed all these holes on this side over here. This is the patch bay. So from what I understand, you can get a patch cable, which I have a few that Uncle Jeff gave me, but I haven't played around with that yet. And in essence, what a semi-modular synthesizer is all of the components of a synthesizer that's hardwired together. So an oscillator that feeds into, let's say, the filter, which feeds into the amplifier. A very simple way of thinking about it, I think. And what a patch bay allows you to do is sort of rewire manually what the synthesizer does, so you can feed things into other things that don't necessarily have that function built in. You can mess around and kind of create your own unique sounds and the ways that some things interact with other things and how they affect each other and stuff like that. So that makes this sort of exciting, but I don't know anything about it yet, so I'm not going to use it in this video. I think in the next video, we'll explore what the patch bay does. Okay, so we have a sequence. We're messing around with stuff. I'm not recording any of it though. So why don't we sort of create a little track? Okay, so what you're looking at on my screen right now is my ultimate template, which is available at ernestocomposer.com/templates if you want it. But this is the template that I use to pretty much make all of the music that I make in a DAW. It's what I use to score stuff or just make tracks for libraries and things like that. And I have a few sections for synthesizers. So why don't we make a new one? We're gonna make a new track. Let's play our pattern again. First, let's figure out what this tempo is. So it's about 90 BPM. And let's just record it. how this would sound or a plan going into this. And I suppose this is just sort of the direction I went in. Very minimal amount of instruments here. Well, here's the final product. And that's it. So like I said, I had no plan going into that, and it sort of just took shape in the limited amount of time that I had for myself today. But you know what? It's not bad. I kind of dig it a little bit. Thanks so much for watching part 1 of Adventures in Synthesis. I hope you join me next time where we will unlock the magic of the patch bay, because I know nothing about it, and so I'll do some research beforehand, and then we'll see if we can play around with some more cool things in the patch bay with the Mother-32, and then make a track at the end of it and see what kind of cool things we can do with it. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you tune into the next part, and as always, take care.